So today we're going to take a look at Raze on Breeze, because that's what FBX decided to play, and I don't think I've ever seen Raze on Breeze before, and I was wondering whether or not to make a video about this. Would there be enough interesting stuff in there? And then I got to round 3.
重甲的，但是在微风岛屿这张地图，我反而觉得最可以轻甲，但是
落地给秒了，
这个落位。
Yeah, so from that point on, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to make a video about this for that round alone, because I couldn't stop laughing at it. But now let's actually go back to the first round, where it started off pretty well for our Raze.
的表现
是，而且阿阳还有一把正义在手上，开局快速进入到 B 区。
哎，打掉零点休探，有人直接带是近点，但是标定之后，其实第一波的近点并没有创造太多的伤亡。 这独木一生其实有隔断的能力，已经形成3D 了。奥特先接一人创造首杀，但留一手的位置也被锁定，快速的解围。这跳上向上被摘了一颗头。米尼麦斯加上这个踩雷飞剑的换人，这波近点 RNG 非常的亏啊。奥特
上来就自杀了。
哇！但是柏林不给机会啊，兄弟。
Let's break this one down then. There's actually quite a few different things going on here. Obviously, it's going to be a fast B hit from RNG here. They're coming onto the site, but we're just going to get, you can just see it just here. A Raze nade thrown. We just saw the snakebite go down as well. And this nade, I just want you to keep in mind, there's 133 here on the clock, right, of when this jet is entering onto the site and gets up on this site with 133. You can see the tail of the nade going there as well. Now take a look at how long it takes for the rest of these guys to get in onto the site, because this nade is going to be really, really good. I'm pretty sure it cancels this Sova drone that was coming in as well, so that's just another added benefit of it. But just take how long it looks, and it also does damage as well, right? Like the Sova and the KO and the Viper here, you know, the ones outside this choke point have all taken some damage. And if you take a look at the time it takes them, like this jet is on site living here for a very long time, like till 124. So it takes like 8-9 seconds before anyone else actually touches onto the site, you know, because of our delay there. That's a long time. You know, and this jet does well, I guess, to survive as well. And then as we play this forward, of course, Autumn then starts getting some kills and then gets another nade kill because of the effectiveness of the next nade he's about to throw, right? Where, I mean, that's just an amazing nade, you know, that, again, it's just a really nice little spot for it to go as well, right? You see, just instant gets another one, starts chucking it there as well, and they've won the round. Let's skip ahead to round number 9 now, where we're pretty much going to see the exact same thing.
全都是全甲，也不会给到你太多去远距离命中的机会。
是的，现在的问题就在于 RNG 两边如果不做动静的话，其实方 plus 中路也不压，所以哈头也抓不到这种侧身，远距离技巧性的零点修探，想要探蝰蛇。
锁定禁闭的站位了，闪光一给，寻敌剑标定，但是 Autumn 把 Sword 一接，后续4名队友好像不太敢动了，直接蹦蹦跳跳想要去完成近点，无人机虽然开了，但是枪线太多了，回防路线来的非常的快，
而且也到了
后点位的绕后，哎有预警，但是没有能预警过来啊，直接是被。
So in this one, we'll pretty much get the same exec coming out from RNG with the same KO knife. The Viper wall goes down, the Jet's gonna dash in, and again, we're gonna get this same combo of the snakebite goes there. Again, you can see the trail of the paint shell going in just there as well. And again, you get the same problem for this Jet, where, you know, they're entering on, you know, 114 or whatever. But, you know, you use both smokes here. They both fade. The dart goes in. You get revealed. You know, and again, no one else is, like, coming close to touching the site here, right? No one else is even close to that. And your Jet is already dead, right? Autumn's already killed your Jet now. Like, and now the exec is just destroyed. Again, so this B-hold between the Viper and the Raze was very effective. And you see the drone come in late, and maybe that's Sova learning that, you know, you can't drone in with this because you'll get destroyed, right, by that Raze nade. You'll get hit by it, you'll get out of the drone, and then obviously it's just a very easy cleanup for the rest of them. Now, I do just want to quickly touch on as well, like this Raze playing in elbow and that general idea, because this is where, you know, Autumn was playing most of the game, was in this kind of position, you know, in this kind of area in general, you know, or maybe coming and being aggressive down mid. I was expecting, to be honest, you know, the Raze to be over towards A main. This is now, you know, a much more enclosed, tight area. I thought, you know, maybe there'd be some, you know, good use over here towards A main, but no, they stuck with Raze towards the B site, and it worked pretty effectively, as we've seen multiple times. Now, of course, one big downside of playing Raze versus a Jet on this map, for instance, on the defensive side, you would think would be that your opping potential isn't going to be nearly as high, but actually towards the later part of the half, they were finding some up value as well.
是偏向于中路的，中路是对方的大部队啊，3个人都在。哇，这一发 Sword 直接倒了，甚至晚焰火都没有能够骗出来。
And if we skip ahead to the very next round, where Autumn still has this up in hand, we're going to see both value from that and the Raze ult.
RNG 好像还是要回归最初的快攻战术，跟手枪局一样。
直接近点抓了，狂烈中路给这波抓人来的还不错，但是晚一会儿轰了一个。近点 auto 的名狙再次发挥，守方的狂烈之怒康特来的也非常的及时。这应该是有穿到头。
So this actually ends up being around the FPX lose, but again, it's like how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man, that when you try this B exec, even though they're doing it this time with a Sova ult added in as well, again you see the trail of the nade going in there, stopping anyone else from coming in other than this Jet. And again, they deal with it pretty well, right? Like our Viper here is going to get caught out this time for kind of the first time, but Autumn's already ulting. And again, ulting against this kind of back wall here, right? Like if you're ulting against this, there's kind of nowhere for you to go, right? Like you probably are dead against a Raze ult hitting that wall if you are an attacker going there, as we saw there from the Viper. And now Autumn again comes around the pillar, gets another up kill just there, and obviously maybe gets a little over aggressive right there just before the smoke comes in. And they would lose this round, but they will win this game. Now, on the attacking side, there wasn't really that much to show, to be honest. We're just going to take a look at some quick things here. Here's their B exec that they did, which went okay, as you'll see. It's not the greatest exec in the world, but it's fine, right? I don't actually know why they didn't go in with the drone there, but, you know, they're playing Astra as well. Could have mentioned that. Yeah, they're going to go for this Astra Star in here, which I think may end up being an Astra Suck. Difficult to tell. Obviously, we need a replay viewer. Please, right? Thank you. But yeah, I guess we won't know. But you see, we're going to send in the nade as well. So I'm going to guess that this is an Astra Suck in here with a Raze nade paired with it, right? Coming in there. And, you know, that's a nice idea as well. You know, you see the boombot going through the wall. The nade just kind of generally bounce in that kind of area. So that's what I'm guessing it will be. And eventually, you know, they do get down here, you know, they get deeper in onto the site. They've kind of got a bit of a shallower Viper wall, and we end up kind of just going back and forth here on these fights for the pistol round. But yeah, there wasn't really a lot in this half for multiple reasons, to be honest, whether that was Autumn not really using stuff or, you know, just already being dead. And then the final one here is this idea in round number 16, and they had multiple of these kind of like fast blast pack, you know, maybe catch someone outplays. They never really found any value with it, but let's just take a look at this one for the sake of it. Okay, so I actually think that this is a decent idea, right? And again, this is maybe an advantage of Raze versus a Jet or a Neon, that, you know, you can get a bit further with blast packs than you can, you know, with a Jet maybe or a Neon at the very early parts of a round, right? So the ideal obviously here is we see the KO flash coming over the Jet, this Raze had to turn, sorry. And, you know, the ideal is that someone is here, right? You know, someone is trying to peek this early on, and, you know, they're going to be blind, and, you know, you're going to get a free blast pack, you know, into them kill, right? That's probably the ideal here. As we see, you know, that isn't the case in this round, but it's a nice idea. There are actually things that I think they could maybe even add to that, right? Like the Sova Dart they're sending in here to elbow, I wouldn't necessarily mind even if we did kind of a Sova Dart, you know, line up something that lands anywhere in there, to be honest. Would be quite nice, I think, to pair with this, you know, just so that it's flashed, you're turning to, you know, try and get the dart. Maybe you can even, you know, get a bit of spam on them as well and kill them, you know, through the door, even if the Raze, you know, did somehow die or whatever. Right, that's one thing. The second thing is the Astra Star. They don't actually put down the star until now, right? So like actually already into the round. Not sure if there's a communication thing or what, but I don't see why that can't really go down earlier, because we don't actually end up smoking this until, you know, our Raze is already kind of in there. You know, maybe we've got a shot off from here or something, you know, worst case scenario, who knows? Someone hits an insane shot. Who knows? But yeah, that was just one of the ideas that they had. And then, you know, as we kind of saw here, you know, it ends up kind of playing out much more like a normal round here. You know, the Viper Orb, this is their Viper Orb that's going to go up, and they end up just kind of, you know, back into a normal kind of round. And as this plays out, I'll just talk about like what I thought, and I really was surprised that they didn't, you know, go a main more, right? Because you would think that this is the part of the map where, you know, Raze Boombot is going to be good, right? Where, you know, the nade is going to be deadly to anyone in here. So I was really surprised that we didn't get that a ton. Maybe that, you know, they do have that in their kind of wheelhouse. It's just that, you know, potentially on this attack side, they just didn't, you know, go to it. And they had pretty much already won the game. But you see here, they're going back to another B exec. The Raze, I'm still not convinced by it personally, but honestly, maybe it's not as bad. And one extra advantage they have as well, of course, is that it might be able to destroy trips better, right? Your nade might destroy some of these, you know, pesky Cypher trips a bit better than a Jet would as well. So that is potentially one little thing that you might see advantages from a Raze instead of a Jet or a Neon.